And that became part of this final scene that we just watched. I want to get Shaq Brewster on that, but I need to come back to you, Professor Dyson, on this experience that the country has had. You write about how COVID has made all of this more intimate, the way George Floyd died under Derek Chauvin's knee. And just pick up on what Yamiche is articulating about how fraught this moment is for the country.
Well, we're facing a dual pandemic, what they call in the 1990s a syndemic, the convergence of two phenomena simultaneously. On the one hand, you've got the global virus, which has besieged the lives of so many people, revealing both pre-existing conditions that are harmful and underlying conditions that suggest that there is a race quake going on, and the tectonic plates of race are being shifted before our very eyes. And that second pandemic, if one is COVID, 19, right? The other may be, as has been said, COVID-16, 19. What have we been wrestling with this in this country from day one? The inability of America as a nation to grapple with its storied and stony past, with the inability to acknowledge in common sense terms that what we've done in the past continues to affect us in the present. And so the knee of Derek Chauvin on the neck of George Floyd is an unavoidable metaphor for the knee of white supremacy, social injustice, economic inequality, anti-blackness, leveraging its full weight upon the necks of Black people who simply want to do the right thing. Look at the surpassing dignity and the transcendent humanity of George Floyd. He didn't curse them out. Even when he had curse words, it was for his plight and predicament, not against them. Officer, sir, he continually deferred to them in orders and magnitudes of recognition of their humanity, even as they denied him his. Even as Mr. Chauvin, with a callous indifference, with a reckless disregard for this man's life, continue to impose upon him constraint. And so, yes, we can say in the broader sense that Congresswoman Maxine Waters may have muddied the waters, may have spoken out of turn, and I can understand why people would think strategically that is a problem. But imagine the accumulated indignities that Black people have borne. Look at the suffering that they have silently observed. Look at the ways in which in other trials, they didn't say anything beforehand. They didn't speak their minds beforehand, before the jury deliberated, waiting, hoping and praying that a good outcome would be in the offing. And yet they were unavoidably and inevitably and invariably frustrated. So now here we are as a nation. It is our choice as to whether our hearts will be big enough, our visions will be wide enough to accommodate both the data of our despair, but also to look at the horizon of our hope. And we have a choice to make. And if we make that choice, we can really, as Dr. King said, wring out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. But it is up to us. It is up to this jury. It is up to us what we will do after this jury. And it's up to the nation. And I'll end by saying this. Isn't it interesting that the defense lawyer basically wanted to police American society, to police American consciousness, to not have Saturday Night Live weigh in? The reason we have other outlets in popular culture, in Saturday Night Live, in fictional engagements, is because sometimes fiction addresses what straightforward nonfiction can't seem to grapple with. We turn to novels, which are made-up worlds of imagination, in order to grapple with the world before us. So what American society has not been able to do, what American jurisprudential rationality hasn't delivered us, what the court systems haven't given to us, maybe Saturday Night Live and other fictional outlets do. Let's not allow fiction to displace our commitment to the fundamental credo of American society, e pluribus unum, out of many one. This is a magnificent moment of reckoning and determination, and I hope we can live up to it.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.